Hello. So I'm just popping on to briefly talk about state of the world and the more obvious, I guess, looking at the world on, you're just like, what's the point? Shall I just give up? Is it even worth me continuing to try? And I guess I want to do a bit of a reframe of the state of the world right now being a reason to recover. The thing in therapy, like a model that we use called the prejudice model. And the prejudice model is ultimately inviting in the unique perspectives that we are all coming from as individuals through our life experiences. And the prejudice model, it speaks to a belief system that's built up over time by confirmation bias or not being in having an experience in life where your beliefs are challenged. And I feel very conflicted. I mean, making this video today on a day where people are marching the streets of Great Britain and saying things like send them back. I mean, it's just like, obviously if you have a brain like the oversimplification of a message like that is just like, what do you mean? And I mean, it's racism, right? But it's sort of dressed up as patriotism. And I mean, if you have a brain cell, the whole thing is just completely insane. But I'm also trying to hold a compassionate stance of they don't know any different. And if you're being fed this message, which we are, so I typed in March, and interestingly, the algorithm started thinking I was someone who would be going on the march. Obviously, I'm not someone that would be going on that particular march, right? And it was quite shocking to see. It was quite shocking to see people in like solidarity and pride, almost pride for sort of marching through the streets as racist. And yeah, it's baffling. And then on the other hand, people are just these individuals are being fed this sort of rhetoric and these stories from the media. So where I'm going with that is, where am I going with this? If a newspaper article is continuously referring to another human being as a migrant, and that has been done. I mean, I actually stopped reading the Metro many years ago because I remember reading an article and there was no reason for this paper to have named the sort of cultural and ethnic background of this individual, because I could see in another kind of like parallel article, it wasn't named that the person was British or white, and that was the day I stopped reading the Metro. And I'm finding it harder and harder to find, sources that I can engage with these days. So where I'm going with that is these people are sort of a victim, I guess, of society and the fact that we're not sort of challenging, with our voices, with our actions, with our actions to leave things and to stop engaging with certain things. And yeah, I mean, I don't even know where I'm going with this really. I think I'm just feeling a bit deflated and imagining that lots of you are too. One thing that does give me a bit of hope, coming back to the prejudice model, is that and I often use this when thinking a bit about the eating disorder kind of belief system, is that ultimately a belief system is just a thought we've thought so many times we believe it to be true. And if you're, coming back to the racism perspective, if you are brought up in a household that's got racist views, and then you're reading kind of ongoing racist rhetoric or articles from the media, you are going to grow up probably and become someone with racist views. I believe that everyone has the capacity to change, and I think that I've actually thought, like, should I offer a course of therapy to someone to try and like reframe and help them understand, that obviously being racist is not the right way to be. Oh man, I'm going on a bit of a waffle. I think what I'm trying to say is, it would be very easy right now to feel so hopeless. You sort of, what's the point? The world's sort of on fire. The world's falling apart. Like, right-wing views. All this sort of, there seems to be a turn of the tide. And I guess I want to invite the world being on fire and feeling as distressing as it does currently as being a reason. Like, if you're someone that's able to see the madness and someone able to see the horror, not just involving what I'm talking about today, but globally, you get to be a part of that change. Like, right now, I don't have the control to change the fact that people are marching, no. But I do have the control to reach someone and make them feel less alone. Or I do have the control to remind people, every time you see the fucking word migrant, you switch it in your mind to human being. So you might even be someone who's like, oh, who's this girl chatting away? And actually, maybe my views are a little bit more aligned. All I would invite then is just every time you read the word migrant, you switch it up with human being. Anyway, I'm on one. I don't know if I'm making any sense, so I'm going to go. But recovery is activism. Yeah, one of the reasons to recover being for you to be a cultivator of change, for you to be someone who is an agent of activism. We need you here too.